Hello, sir. My name is Bat Liang. I would like to ask you some comments about regarding the memory of the Fall of Saigon. What is your name, sir?
My name is Conrad Gomez. I was in the United States Air Force, and I volunteered to go to Vietnam in 1967, and I was there in 1967-68 in the Catapensa. I was stationed at Cameron Air Force Base, then later on I was stationed at Dun Ha Marine Base up near the DMZ. I'm here because when the Fall of Saigon fell, it was overwhelming to me that situation happened. Our government at that time failed the South Vietnamese people. The North Vietnamese broke the accord that they were supposed to leave South Vietnam alone. And so we are here to support the the Vietnamese community in the city of Westminster, California, that we are with them right now, shoulder to shoulder. It took us many years to connect, but we are very happy and grateful to be here connected with the Vietnamese community. My personal opinion is that one day communism will leave Vietnam. I really believe that communism is just evil.
But how could it leave Vietnam? Because the communists in Vietnam are very politically and economically strong, even though they have open relations with our U.S. government and our leaders. Even President Trump strongly support them, empower them. How do you think communists will be removed from Vietnam?
It is going to be a matter of evolution. The people, the younger generation, who has now been educated with cell phones, with the internet, they are getting the messages, even though they censor a lot of the internet. The Vietnamese younger generation is growing out of the mentality of the old days. They want free enterprise. They want freedom. They have seen freedom. With all these videos, all the pictures that are being sent back to Vietnam, you know, the Vietnam government, the communist regime, sooner or later will change.
But do you know that the leaders of Vietnamese communists are now under control of the Chinese communist leaders, and they kind of leading the China taking over Vietnam, and China is so powerful in economics, politics. So do you think is it possible that communists will be, fail, will be removed from?
I believe that the Chinese are overstepping their boundaries in not only Vietnam, in the South China Sea, the impact that it's also causing the Philippines and other nations around there. There are many nations, Australia, New Zealand, Thailand, so many nations that do not want communism. They trade with them. It's just like trading with the devil. You have to, but it is eroding little by little, day in and day out. Even though the communist government of Vietnam is censoring the internet, there are ways that people will get the true messages of freedom. They see the American soldier coming back. They see the Australian, the tourism of Americans, of all the Allied soldiers that fought in Vietnam War. And from there, they are getting it. We have American soldiers who now live in Vietnam, you know, and throughout Southeast Asia. And they are making an impact to the Vietnamese culture to change.
I hope so someday. So according to the Paris Treaty signed in 1973, you see the war between North and South Vietnam and in harmony with the U.S. policy. What do you think of that peace treaty? Did the communists of North Vietnam violated the treaty?
Of course they did. You know, the saddest part is there was a treaty. President Nixon had said that we will stand behind the South Vietnamese government. And when he left the presidency, President Ford came up, and he did not follow the treaties and the promises that President Nixon had said. Congress also failed. We were supposed to train the military of the South Vietnamese and help them with the ammunition, with the helicopter pilots, with everything that they needed. It did not happen. What happened was the Chinese and the Russians threw in all their might with the North Vietnamese. When the North Vietnamese invaded South Vietnam, it was with tanks. It was with a regular army. The Viet Cong no longer ceased to be in power. They were decimated during the Tet Offensive of 1968. North Vietnam took over the war. And they broke and lied and did everything wrong. And they targeted innocent Vietnamese people who were school teachers, nurses, anybody of importance. They targeted and assassinated those people. That way they could educate the people the way they wanted. But I know for a fact, when I used to patrol Highway 1 in between the Trang and Cam Ranh, we would find many victims that were 14, 15 years old. They were studying to become nurses to help their village people near the village of Dang Ba Tin, and they were assassinated. Why? Because they worked for the Americans.
So according to the peace treaties, the Northern Communist Vietnam should stay in the north, and the Republic of South Vietnam should have in control of the south. Correct? It's just like in Korea.
Exactly. It is the same. It was set up the same way, you know. And Korea, there's a north and there's a south. In Vietnam, the North Vietnamese violated everything. They never had any intention of keeping the treaty.
So according to that peace accord, as a Vietnam vet, do you think you are a winner of the war or you are a loser of the war?
The one thing that the Vietnam War did for us is take down communism. Not in your country, but there is no longer the mighty Union of Soviet Socialist Republic. The Russian Empire, the evilest empire there was, no longer was.
So it also helped the communists from taking over the USA during Vietnam War, right?
Yes.
Otherwise, it could help in like North Korea, China, Cuba, or Vietnam.
Right,
if without your service fighting.
It was after World War II, the Cold War. Then we started learning communism. We had to fight them in Korea. And then the next war was the Vietnam War, where we learned. But the trouble was that our government put too many restrictions on the military. Our government was the one who said, you can only bomb half a bridge. You cannot bomb the city of Hanoi, where the missiles were, where the ammunition was, where all the logistics of the war were kept. We were not allowed to fight a war. Our government tried to fight the war, and they knew nothing of how to do it.
Well, thank you very much, sir, for your insight of the issue to help the younger generation and the people of this country know the freedom wasn't free. It took a lot of sacrifices and a lot of brave men like you to fight for the freedom that we could enjoy every day daily here in America. Thank you for your sharing and thank you for your service. God bless you, sir.
And God bless the Vietnamese people. They are great American patriots. Thank you.
Thank you.